Hey guys, welcome to the daily analysis here for February 13th. It is a Wednesday, so market conditions typically pretty good for these Wednesdays, right in the middle of the week, and the market should be moving. And for the most part, pretty good movement today. Definitely want to talk about a few different things that set up today. One thing in particular is this EUR/AUD, which is kind of struggling in this triangle pattern. That to me looks like it has potential to break out in either direction. So I want to do a little more analysis on that, and then of course get back to some of the other major currencies too. Alright guys, so before we get into that, we'll cover our news and our terms, and we'll jump right back into the charts. Alright guys, and as you can see tomorrow, the news is relatively light. The Bank of Japan press conference continues tomorrow, so I want to pay attention to that for the yen. And then we have the unemployment claims, of course, which comes out every Thursday, and that's a red-tagged US dollar event. And the New Zealand news at 4:45 p.m. hits, which is retail sales. So 3 red-tagged events you can see there. Other than that, not a ton of news. Some interesting orange tag stuff: ECB monthly bulletin, French prelim, German prelim. Mortgage delinquencies for the US dollar. So a couple smaller events that will be interesting to see, but for the most part, a pretty light day in the news. Alright guys, quickly to cover our terms. Basically the idea here is just to be very clear that we are not an investment advisory service. We're not telling you how to risk your money. This is just the daily analysis that's used for your educational benefit, just giving you an idea of what we're thinking about the market. Because we're not regulated by any security or financial advisor or regulatory service. So it's just our personal opinion, free education for you. Alright, we just want to be really clear on that because, again, the government's very strict on those regulations, and so we don't want to overstep our bounds in that area. Alright guys, so just get back to this EUR/AUD. I really like the EUR/AUD because the euro has been so consistent and the AUD has been one of the weaker pairs. And so we've had some nice moves this recent leg. Really nice move to the upside. If I grab my little arrow here, my ruler here, you can see that from top to bottom it's about 790 pips or so, which is really a great move in just a few months of time. Really actually just 1 month since this point in time. And so what I'm wondering about the EUR/AUD here is if we're going to get a nice continuation break through this triangle to the next leg. I'm not sold on the idea that the euro is not going to reverse and that it couldn't break down either. I think that could be an equally nice trade opportunity. But just because of the momentum to the upside here and kind of the ascending triangle that we're building here, a break to the upside would show really nice continuation and be something that I'm definitely interested in. So I know I mentioned this before, but just if we get a little more consolidation here and get that breakout, the euro is definitely a trade I would think very seriously about taking to the upside, assuming that there was a good break there with some momentum. Alright, just wanted to go over that one because it's one I got my eye on, and then we'll get back to some of the other normal pairs that we typically cover in the analysis. Alright, euro dollar here, you can see pretty much just a nice little pin bar. Tried to push price up past 135 and got rejected a little bit today. The pin came right up toward the bottom of the space, which I'm not sure if that's significant at this point. What I'm hoping is just that we get a nice move back into this area. Again, I really like the 130 area here, or 133 I should say. The 133 area here for price to bounce off and move higher, and so I'm still holding out for the opportunity to go along there if we get a pullback in this area. Nice zone of support here, some areas here, and then if you look back a little farther also on the weekly chart, some great areas too. So 133 definitely an area that I think could provide some nice support for this euro dollar, and so I'm anticipating a pull down into that area and then looking to take that nice continuation move from there if we get that set up. And so for me, just a matter of being patient on the euro dollar. Alright, pound dollar finally moving pretty nicely here. You can see the continuation to the bearish side. We had a couple breaks here that bounced right back up, but finally a nice break. A little pin bar yesterday, but then a very strong continuation to the downside today. And so the pound moving quite nicely down. This is one that we are short on in our copying system. Those of you who are copying our trade should be up pretty nicely on this one, and pretty close to our target. Our target is kind of in this area, not quite the full target to the bottom here, but at this next shelf. So getting pretty close to that, as you can see. Hopefully tomorrow or even maybe today before this closes, we'll drive the rest of the way through that. So that's what we're anticipating with this pound short. Again, I think that it could come all the way down to here, but you got to worry about the struggle in this area as it is a pretty nice little zone of support. So good to see some continuation, breaking through this little shelf here and moving pretty nicely through 156 on the pound. AUD, a little bit interesting. We had this breakdown, pretty nice bearish moves. I kind of expected AUD to come down into this area. I wasn't sure how long it would struggle. I thought it would get here, but actually had a pretty nice little two-bar move here. A stop here, as you can see, and then continuing through this bottom fib level, which is a nice little cluster of support resistance. So the AUD might very well be trying to push higher. Again, I'm not trading the AUD US because I just don't like the movement, but some of the other AUD pairs presenting some interesting moves. So looks like this AUD strength could carry us a little bit higher. If you look at some of the other pairs as well, some of the other crosses, you can see the Euro AUD moving down, of course, in correlation with the AUD strength. The AUD Swiss is another pair that's building a base at the very bottom of a range and trying to bounce. So some nice potential here with the AUD. If it can bounce up and show some continued strength, it could be a really nice move. Again, I don't really like the range of the AUD US dollar not moving a lot and a lot of shaking, but as far as looking at the AUD strength across some other pairs, the AUD dollar is a good indication of that. And so seeing a little bit of strength here is a good sign for some other AUD potential longs. USDCAD, pretty dull day today. I am still short on this pair, and again, my target is in this area. And so looking to see if we can get a continuation move down there. And again, so far today, pretty much nothing. Almost a no ground day in either direction. So for me, just waiting to see if kind of nice tops here that eventually fall through pretty good, and hoping to do the same. There was definitely a shift of momentum up here near 108. So just want to see if we can get that follow through, and I'm just going to try to be patient and get down here to these lower prices on the USD CAD. Again, basically the reason for the trade is I like for price to break out of this range. Basically, I think that there could be some nice trading opportunities, but in the meantime, if it's bouncing and there's some good opportunities, I'm willing to trade within the range, which is what I'm doing here. Pretty small take profit, but also got a pretty tight stop on it. So happy with that trade so far, and just waiting to see if we can get some of that consistent follow through. Euro pound made a really nice move here. You can see that it broke through the top here today, 3 great bars in a row, and breaking higher, looking like it does want to continue. So to me, the euro pound definitely an opportunity for some higher highs here. It does not look like it wants to end this move. So if that's the case, the potential to go long on the euro pound I think is very legitimate. As far as trade setup, a couple of different ways you can look at it. Number one would obviously just be the break of this little ascending triangle and to go along basically right as this candle closes, looking for a higher high, whether that's up near 88 or whatever the case is, kind of with a stop loss in the middle of the range or something like that. Another way to play this might be if you think that it might pull right back and test this and then get it maybe on a smaller time frame as it continues with a tighter stop loss, and maybe even just targeting the recent top here, something like that. It depending on really what you expect from the euro pound, whether you think it's definitely going to soar to some new highs or at least just getting up here to retest. Either way, looks like it definitely has upward potential. Just kind of a matter of figuring out exactly how you want to attack it. For me personally, probably not going to be taking a trade here on the euro pound because that would be shorting the pound, which I have some other pound short potential that I'm looking to play that I like a little bit better than the euro pound long. But nonetheless, I think the euro pound has some serious potential with all the momentum we've seen recently on that pair. So if you like the euro pound, figure out a trading plan that makes sense, and that that the analysis is reasonable as far as these longer term positions. 87 obviously a big area where we touched at before, and then 88 kind of the next psych level, 100 pips higher, and really potential for it to go to either one and then even much higher if this trend continues on this euro pound. So definitely there's some trade potential. Again, for me, I like the pound short on some other pairs a little bit better. The pound dollar is one obviously moving pretty nicely, but some other pairs also, and so I would hold off on the euro pound personally. But I definitely think if you're a euro pound trader and really like the upside potential there, that there's a good trade there. Alright, speaking of pound shorts, the pound New Zealand is the one that you guys may know I've been waiting for. Nice move down today, breaking through the bottom here into all-time lows on the pound New Zealand, which is really what I'm looking for, and some pretty good momentum. So for me, I'm going to wait till this bar closes. At the close of the daily, might think about taking a short with my stop kind of in this range above the tops of these candles and also the tops, of course, of this candle. And then as far as target taking, profit target. Wow, I'm I'm having a little bit of struggle here. As far as the profit target, I think that the pound New Zealand is one that I'll kind of just try to trail and see if it can go really far, because there's obviously not a level to look for in terms of your target, considering it's at all-time lows. And so to me, this would be a pair where I'd maybe try to lock in relatively early on the trade, since I don't have a defined target, and then look to see if I could trail this thing potentially and hit a multiple 100 pip trade, whether that's 200 pips or 500 pips or 1,000 pips. I really have no idea, but I think that the potential is there for the pound New Zealand to really move to the next level of price, and we'll see exactly how that follows through. 180 is a pretty big level, in terms of psyche that it could go to, and so that would be a very legitimate target and somewhere where I think about taking profit. But really, with a pair like this and going into all-time lows, you never know exactly where it could go or have anything to base it off of. So to me, this would be one where I just want to lock the trade in, take the risk off the table, and then see if I can trail it for a pretty large winner. And that's what I look to do on this pound New Zealand. Alright, US yen, nice little pin bar today, looking like it wants to push back up. You can see kind of on this little tiny mini trend line here where it's bouncing off. So we'll see if we get some continuation. You'd think that it would be able to make it up to this recent high, if it's trying to push there, not quite to 95, but around 94.40. Is an area where the US yen has been before. So it looked like it's trying to push. We'll see if it gets there. To me, I think that's a pretty high probability that's going to bounce to that area. And I am long on the US yen right now. One of the main reasons I'm long on the US yen is because I'm short on the USDCAD. And so again, I like to do that half hedge where I'm short on dollar and also long on dollar, but have the potential to win both trades. And so that's what I'm doing with this US yen, hoping for just the bounce at least to that 94 area, if not a move to higher highs and a continuation of this trend. So I think that has quite a bit of potential there. Just waiting to see if we can get some follow through on that little pin bar today that kind of reversed the momentum back to the upside for a while. Alright, so that's the analysis for today, guys. I hope that it was beneficial for you. I hope that you're tracking some of these pairs and able to get some good trades. I really appreciate you coming and watching the analysis. And if you have any thoughts or comments or questions or anything like that, be sure just to leave a comment below. I had a comment yesterday. Someone made a several hundred pip trade on the pound New Zealand, so congratulations on that. If you guys are watching or looking at any of these pairs, make sure that you let me know and leave a comment below. Alright, talk to you guys tomorrow. Have a great day.